Treat each other the way you should like to be treated. Be humble, help the needy, stand up for justice. Treat each other the way you should like to be treated. Welcome everyone to this episode of Discourse, where today we will be reviewing The Sad and Painful Journey of a Struggling Disabled Black Man by Chibike Ifchinelo Nwabude. So I feel as though this is a great place to start us off with our discussion, because this is a memoir. It's told from the unique perspective of a disabled Black man, and after reading through all his trials and tribulations, I couldn't help but be left feeling as though this is more of a story of perseverance and triumph.
Yeah, definitely, because he went through a lot. He was born and grew up in Nigeria up until he was old enough to get his student visa to come and study in the United States. And he worked his way up to get a permanent resident status, and I believe he's a full citizen now. But just his time in Nigeria was rough. From childhood and going through a civil war and coming to the United States, where he thought everything would be better because it's a developed country. They have more rules, regulations, and more support for not just disabled people, but people of all cultures. But even here, he had so many obstacles, but as you said, he persevered and kept moving forward.
Yeah, and I love that he, I love a good memoir, regardless if it's someone well-known, like famous, or not well-known. Learning about people, I find, is really interesting because everyone's lives are so different, and people go through things that maybe you can relate to, and maybe some you just would never even think that would happen to you. So in reading the memoir, it felt very like he was writing in his diary and was just showing us every moment of his life, from beginning, middle to now, all the struggles that he went through and how he felt in all of those moments, the hard ones, the good ones, when he was fighting and standing up for himself. Was really sad, but also really introspective for myself reading him.
Yeah, and also inspiring for me because, man, he went through so much, but he didn't quit because he believed in himself so much because of the way he was raised. His mom and dad really raised him and his family really well and pushed him for, to get educated and also to help others that are lesser than yourself and don't need money, help others, do what you can, give your last penny, as long as you pay your bills, of course, and are able to take care of yourself. So he did that even though he was going through a lot of trials and a lot of tough times. So for me, it was very inspirational.
Right. It was filled with a lot of sadness, but I felt that even in the sadness from a person on the outside looking in on what he was speaking about, what he was writing about, I felt like I could see the glimmers of hope, or I could see like the positive thing in his life at that moment that he maybe didn't see or wasn't really looking at. And I almost kind of wanted to just be, look, you have people on your team, you have people that care, you're gonna make it through, like just hold on, just wait another day, like you'll make it. I felt like I was rooting for him a lot of the time.
And just like him, I think he's very trustworthy and helps out everyone he can at work, friends. He doesn't have a lot of close friends, just as myself, because I learned at a young age some people see kindness for weakness and they take advantage of you, which a lot of people took advantage of him. And in helping others, he got hurt by another side. Such as in the book he writes about, he had two co-workers that they started dating, then one became abusive. So the co-worker who was being abused asked for help, if he could give her a ride home to her friend's house because she didn't want to go home and be verbally and physically abused, and he said, sure, whatever I could do to help. And the other person in the relationship was telling him, don't give her a ride, like, stay out of our relationship, stay out of her business. And he said, no, if this is truly what's going on, she's asking me for a ride, I'm going to do what I can to help her. So he got in the middle of that, and long story short, it ended up getting, costing him his job. But who knows, he could have saved her life. She's maybe living a better life now because of him, because he thought in the best interest of his heart and her well-being to support her and help her out. He helped his sister stay with him for a while. He helped his mom when she was going through surgeries. He shared his household with the other kids from that girl that used to abuse him. So in reading this book, even though it was sad throughout and he had some good stories, bad stories, but just his trials, when he first came to America, it was a pretty funny quote that he wrote when he was on the airplane to come into the United States. The hostess, that's what they're called?
The flight attendant.
The flight attendant asked him that the flight attendant told him that he had two food choices. If he wanted a hamburger or a hot dog. And he heard hot dog, he's like, what is that? Like, I don't want to eat a dog. So he just chose hamburger, right? And he ate it, he enjoyed it. And when he got to the States, he asked his brother, like, hey brother, do you eat hot dog? And the brother's like, yeah, we all do. It's delicious. He's like, brother, why? Back in Nigeria, we never ate dog. Why are you eating dog?
Yeah, I thought that was so funny. He's like, man, people in the States, they've eaten dogs? Jeez.
Like a developed country eating dog, but he was like, I guess, but I'm not going to eat dog.
Yeah, I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, that was funny. And also, he talked about his family a lot and his father and how they were very religious and raised Catholic. So one quote that I really liked, he said that if they didn't get a chance to go to church because of some unforeseen circumstances, which happened, to anyone, they would always pray together before doing our daily chaos. And I don't know why I found that hilarious.
Well, because every day is chaos, right? You're like, man, I better pray before this day gets started. If we can't go to church, oh boy, we better pray extra hard.
Yeah, before we head out into the world. Because we got kids and there's chaos there. Or there's just chaos and traffic in daily life. Or just going to work. So this could fall into any type of scenario. I don't know why, I just thought it was pretty funny. And what quotes did you like with that?
What did you like, Rita?
Yeah.
I feel like the quotes that I liked the most were ones where he was I felt like when he was at his lowest and when he was just asking God, like, why me? Like, why do I have to go through this? What did I do to deserve this kind of a life, or this to happen to me, or for me to be this way? Why do I need to, like, why am I alive to witness all the injustices in the world? And I felt like, especially when you're someone who has suffered in similar ways or have had similar issues or situations happen, you look at these questions and first of all you think, oh, thank God I'm not the only one who's ever had those thoughts and questions. But also I connected with him the most in those moments because I understood where he was coming from. And I wish I could reach out and help him and, I don't know, just comfort him.
Yeah, or just say he's not alone, because he had to work his way to be just a citizen of the U.S. and get some of the benefits that everyone should be receiving. And we were born here, and we still feel that we're like discriminated on sometimes. And this was back in, for him, it was like the 80s, 90s.
70s, 80s, right?
Yeah, 70s, 80s, where it was worse off, but it's still here. But definitely, yeah, he's not alone. It's still happening. A lot of people experienced it. And in his book, he just felt that he was discriminated, rejected by society. It was emotionally painful and exhausting just to go to work because he got it there too. Outside in regular life, out in society, it was demoralizing. When all he wanted to do was get a job, prove himself that he had the skills to not just be good at his job, but give back to society. Because he was really good at math. He got a degree in mathematics. And he just wanted to use his skills and, just give back. He even said, I just want to live a good life, do my thing, and give and do whatever I can for people out there.
Yeah, which sounds like such a simple request, but he was dealt a really intense hand, and I don't know,
and for no reason either. He was just doing his job, just showing up and doing what he was told to do. Like at work, he was discriminated by his own people just because he was dating a white woman.
I know, but
right?
Yeah, but that's like normal day stuff. That still happens even today.
That's
like,
just the woman
people...
being jealous.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
Yeah, it's just people not being educated. There's fear. There's all these kinds of things come up, but that's
the
still
music
happens.
you like listening to.
I know,
it's
like who cares? Does it bother you in your life?
It's
Does
like
it hurt you?
petty stuff.
Who cares?
But just because of little things like that, they pushed and did whatever they could to get him fired, right?
Yeah.
False accusations. And I believe there were 3 or 4 companies that he was discriminated on, and he filed a lawsuit against them. And he won all of them, I believe. And, you know, you would think he's just filing lawsuits just to file, to get money out of it, but no. He was deeply discriminated just by the examples that he shared. And as he mentions a lot in his book, if he feels disrespected and the law's against him and it's just not fair, that he's going to use the law itself to protect himself, and not just himself, but also set the standard, like make sure it doesn't happen to other people.
Right. Yeah, I really enjoyed that he stood up for himself a lot of the times. I mean, he knew coming to America, I want to get an education, I want to, you know, be a good person and give back to society. So he worked so hard in school. He had his professors that rallied around him, even when he was having a hard time paying for his classes.
Yeah.
You know, even though he didn't want to, he got welfare.
Just to survive.
Just to survive. But he went and swallowed his pride and did what he had to do, and you know, he fought to survive. That was one way of doing that. And then with everything, with the legal battles that he had, I mean, standing up for yourself is a hard thing to do. And then going about it in the way that he did, it takes a lot of courage. And for him to already be seen as a disabled Black person, that's already a lot on your shoulders. So to also add on to that all these legal issues, it's a lot to contend with. So I applaud him for that, and for just having the gusto to stand up for himself.
Yeah, and he did it the right way. He went to the person or people involved directly. If that didn't help, he went to management. If that didn't help, he went to the supervisors, higher-ups, all the way up to the company itself. And if nothing happened, then get the lawyers involved.
Right.
But I think the worst thing was that he was honest. And you would think being honest is like a good thing. People applaud it, but no. A lot of times, it's a good thing. It's a great thing. You should always be honest. But sometimes when you're honest to people, they don't like it.
I know.
And they talk back to you in a mean way. They stop talking back to you. But as he mentioned in the book as well, if they don't talk back to you or cuss you out, like, then whatever, move on with your life. I will with mine. But the people that actually apologized or thought about it and came back to him, they became good friends or just good acquaintances, you know. And that's one thing I like about him too, that he's an honest person. Yeah. And he gives his feedback whether the other person is gonna like it or not.
Yeah, honesty in a world of corruption and lies and fake people is not an easy thing to be.
But he was him throughout, and just everything he was dealt, but he's still moving strong, moving forward, and
surviving against all odds. Don't quit. I love when he says that.
So we're gonna end this on a good quote that was inspirational to me, and I hope to live by this myself. I like to help people whenever I am in a position to do so, especially those in difficulties. I do not have much wealth in life, but with the little I have, I would contribute as much as I could just to help that individual or group of people. Sometimes it was stressful trying to solve other people's problems, but I do not mind, as long as I did my best to help whoever it was.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and make sure to check out The Sad and Painful Journey of a Struggling Disabled Black Man by Chibike, Nwabude.